Okay, someone asked me if I could, they are trying to learn how to draw. So they asked me if I could do a series on how to draw. I haven't drawn in a few years, so it's very difficult for me to really show you the finer details, but I think the theory, I still have it. So in drawing, you really have to understand the fundamentals. Like any science, like any art, you really have to spend time working on fundamentals. Um, and fundamentals are usually just hidden in the theory. So if you get the fundamentals, the art or the science or whatever it is stays with you for a long time. Okay. So we'll look at the fundamentals that I feel are crucial, whether it's you want to do pencil drawing or you want to do painting and things like that. So let's look at the fundamentals of drawing. So the fundamentals I feel can be reduced to two main things. Okay. The first is sketching. So you have to be uh, very good at sketching. Okay. And sketching is based on two principles: knowing how to do shapes and then also knowing how to do perspective. Okay. Now, um, with shapes, shapes are easy to learn because they don't really involve a lot of imagination. They do for a brief second, maybe for you to transfer from either the mind to the paper or from a still object to the paper, but it really doesn't require you to imagine because shapes are shapes. Perspective, yes, you have to imagine. So shapes are easy to learn. How do you learn them? The first is learn how to do lines. Okay. Learn how to do lines. And you need to do lines in different directions. So these I'm doing in this direction. Okay. Left to right. You have to know how to do lines right to left. So these you have to practice every day. You have to know how to do lines vertical like that, different lengths. You can do small ones, you can do long ones. Okay. Now I'm doing using a touchpad, so it's not as easy as on paper. Okay. You have to be very good at doing lines, cross them like that. This is something that you have to practice on a daily basis. You really have to be good at lines. Okay. The second thing about shapes is that you have to be good at doing the actual shapes. So let's say I need to do a square. Okay. I need to be able to do a square, almost a square, not a rectangle. If I want to do a rectangle, I have to make sure I can do a rectangle easily. If I want to do a circle, I should be able to make something close to a circle. Okay. If I want to do an oval shape, I should be able to make something that looks like it's oval. Okay. If I want to make a triangle, I should be able to make a triangle. I want to make a cylinder, I have to be able to make a cylinder like that. If I want to make, let's say, a circle inside or an oval shape inside a rectangle, I should be able to do that. A circle inside here, I should be able to do this. Okay. So these, you don't need to have a special talent. It's just practice. So try to fill it up with lines in this direction. Try to fill it up with lines in that direction. Just like this, you can even practice anytime you hold any paper, pencil, pen. Just try to see that they're becoming good. You don't need to have a formal environment where you practice this. Could be sitting, watching TV, try to make them closer together like that, but making sure if you are doing a shape like this, you're not like for example, if I've got a shape like this, okay, I'm trying to make sure that the lines are making almost just within. I'm not doing, okay, so practice to keep within. You can also practice to extend, okay. Now this device is missing some start lines sometimes, okay. Let's try to, you can be innovative with this, do lines like this. You can do lines there like that. Trying to do them fast, try to do them slow. Okay. So you're trying to find where your hand wants to be, where your pencil wants to be. Some have been lucky, they've held the pencil the first day, and then it's aligned to things like this. So you're trying to learn how to do lines and shapes. That would be our first element. Okay. So I'll write it down here. Okay. That is the first aspect. The second aspect is going to be perspective. Now, perspective requires a bit of imagination. It's not like it's not like shapes. It requires a bit of imagination, but not so different. So let's say, for example, I've got a shape like this. You can practice like that. So I've got a shape, okay, a cuboid. Now I want to show that this is actually sitting on the ground. Then I have to make sure I can do this. Okay, I can do that. You see, I can bring it back here. Then I can do this. Okay, then I can bring this back. So this now looks like it's actually on the ground. But if I were to draw this, okay, like this, like that, and then I draw, you see, I'm even failing to fail to do this. Okay, then I do like this. You see, it doesn't really look like it's a true shape, right? Because it's, unless if it's naturally like that. But if it's same size here and same size maybe at the back there, then it will not be an accurate figure in terms of how you look at it. So perspective requires that you understand how someone will visualize something. So if I were to draw it in this direction, I still need to make sure that, it's shrinking this way and shrinking also that way. Okay. So then it sits on the floor. Okay. I can also come in and let's say I'm drawing a village of some sort, right? Let's say I've got the thatched hut here. Okay. Now you see shapes coming to play because we said you need to be able to do rectangles, you need to be able to do triangles easily. You see, this is from a triangle, that's from a circle, this is from a rectangle, that's from a circle. So if I know how to do shapes, it's easier. Okay, so the next house will shrink a bit this side and will shrink a bit that side. So that's the next house. Okay, the next thatched house will be there. Okay, then I'll do another thatched house here. Okay, like that. Maybe it's smaller like this. Then I can do another one further in the distance, like that. Right? So now you can see that these houses are actually going in that direction. Okay, if I had maybe human figures, do them like simplistic ones. Okay, I've got first person, then a queue. The second person will be there. Okay, there. The third person will be there. Okay, like that. So it shows you that these people are in a queue. This one is first, that one is second, that one is third. Same here, this one will be first, second, third, fourth. Okay. So now we see that shapes and perspective have come together, but we don't see drawings completed just like this. Okay. So there's another phase to drawing. Now we finished the shape. What is the next consideration that you need to have? The next consideration that you need to be very good at is how to play with light. Okay. You have to be good at playing with light. Now, light, we use what? We use shading. Okay. We use shading. And so shading comes in two ways. The first one is background. Okay, and then the third will be what? The second will be shadow. Shadow, like that. And so the techniques that you use for background and shadow could be technique they call cross-hatching or smudging. Okay, so now what are these? Okay, so I would say that this is 3 and this is 4, right? So the first is shapes, learn how to do shapes. I showed you how to practice. I showed you how to do the cross-hatching. The perspective. And then now we have cross-hatching for background and shadow. It's difficult to do this with a computer, unless if I found an app that would do this. Basically with smudging is let's say you do lines like this, okay? Then you get some tissue or paper or something, then you spread these lines, like hide these lines by just doing but it's difficult. Cross-hatching is where you do lines in one direction, then you do other lines in another direction, like that. Okay, so this eventually can give you different shades. Okay, you can see using the same. Here I'm darker, then there it's lighter, like that. You can continue with this different. So cross-hatching can give you a shade you want also. So these are the two techniques. We can focus on them later. So now let's look at these two things differently. I'll use an example. Okay, I'll use an example. Now let's say you want to draw those same village huts that we just did. Okay, or maybe let me just do first. I'll do 3 examples to show us this. So the first example I'll do is I'll do a ball, right? Let's say I've got a ball. I want to do a ball like this. Now we said shapes have to be in play. So that's almost close to a circle, okay? It's not bad, right? Now, we said, so that's shape done. The perspective on this is not a big issue because it's a ball, right? And then there's no side that will be very far from each other. So it will just be a ball, right? Then we have perspective here. Like I said, it will not be a major factor. And then we go to the background. Now the background, this thing is sitting on some floor. So you really have to show something like a horizon. It's always going to be straight with your whatever media that you're using. Okay, it cannot be like you draw a ball like that, then your background and things like that. It always has to sit almost always horizontal. It does not need to be so perfect. These can miss each other a bit, but it's fine. So that's your almost like where it's sitting. So you've got two things. You've got background here, and then you're going to have your shadow here. If my light is coming from here, now this is what is crucial. My light is coming from there. My background will have two sets of lines. Now the background is what you have your background of this picture here. So the background will be darker here, okay, to be darker there, and lighter here. But you need to have a background in both surfaces, okay, because that's what will help you to bring the shape out. Okay, so what does this background involve? It involves mainly two lines, up and down. Okay, so if I have to do this background, I have to use lines like this. Okay, lines like that. Now you see, if I try to make it light, it skips. So you'll forgive me for not making very light lines. But here they should be very light on this side, because that's where the light is. But we'll just make these ones a lot more darker. Okay. You can do this any way you want. Like start with your shadow. So now this is I have to make sure that my line, which is closer to the object, is darker to bring it out. Now I have to make sure that I have horizontal lines. Okay. Again, this device is not good with it shades them differently. The horizontal ones are thinner and darker, but with pencil on a piece of paper, it will not be like that. So again, these I'm doing in probably 2 seconds, and that's it. 2 minutes. But like we said, art is not done like that. It requires a lot of patience. So you see, I'm trying to build lines this side. I continue. So I'm playing with light here. I know my light is coming from here. Then these are going to be, this edge here will be a little bit lighter than the other edge. So let's see if okay, it's refusing to give me very light lines. I haven't drawn on computers, so okay. Just a bit of that. This should be very light. I've tried to play around with the settings, but don't really respond. Okay, that will be our background. Then this will be our light source. Now, the shadow has got also two lines. The first are going to be, the most important line is this one here that separates the shadow and the background. It has to be visible in a way. Okay, so now the light is coming like this. Okay, I'll show it for the purpose of this drawing. It's coming like that. So the shadow will have two lines. It will have the ones which are following this light and the ones which are like this horizontal. So mainly to be formed by two lines. So for example, I want you to see how these lines work. So I'll do the horizontal ones first. Remember, this is the theory, okay? Theory of drawing. So here, I don't need to have, so here it's almost like you're showing the color, the texture and color of where this boy is sitting. But here, it's really where the shadow is, okay? Like that. So now you come, you specify the edge. Okay. You continue to make this darker away from the light. Okay. Now, this doesn't look like a shadow yet. Okay. We'll try and do a future video where we just use paper and pen and the camera. I don't have a camera yet. Paper and pencil. Okay. Now, I wanted to show you what this line would do. This is now the one I said is going to give us the shadow. So now, look, it's going to follow this direction to really make this thing look like it's sitting on the ground. So this line that's following the light source, very, very important. It differentiates the background and the so it differentiates the background and the shadow. Okay. So that'll be that. Okay. Now we finished doing now we can shade the board itself. Okay, our main shade has to be this side away from the light. This is what I was saying is cross hatching. So technology is technology, but it's really not there yet. Okay, because even the ends of these shadows should be very light, but this thing is okay. So even the cross hatching here has to be almost like circular. Then again, this side should be very light to no shade. This is where maybe you can even apply your smudging a bit. Okay, these are not supposed to be perfect drawings. I'm just showing you the theory of it all. Okay, so this is where the aspect of shading helps you to make this into a 3D object. We could also, for example, do those little villages that we did just now. So for example, let's do 3 of them because it's just too short. Okay, so I've got shapes like this, and then I've got these I like because they really show you how to go about your perspective. Okay, then you do another one here. Okay, so this is that. Our light is going to come from that same direction. So what does it mean? It means we need to find our almost like our horizon, for lack of a better term. It's not the horizon, but it's just something that helps you to tell that this is where the shadows are and this is where the background is. So I'll put it there. Okay, and then what we do is the light is coming from here, and you can see I can start with my shadow first. or I can start with my objects. I perfect them. I like to combine everything, just visualize what do I need to do to bring my shape to life. So this device is not good with vertical lines. It really throws them everywhere, but on paper it's easier. Okay, so it's just a theory. It's just a theory. So we are doing I want to show you that you can start with any line you want, as long as you know where you're going. So I'm doing these ones that are following the light, the direction of the light. Okay. So the darkest side will be this side. Okay. I can now go on and make this into this direction. I'm bringing out the shapes. Okay. Away from the light. Okay. You can do this. You can do however you want. It's as long as it makes sense. That's the goodness with art. Once you know the fundamentals, it's up to you. It's up to your imagination. Whatever you're imagining, do. You don't have to wait for someone to tell you how to do it. Get the fundamentals, then play around. Okay. So I've done that. I'm going to do a bit of my background. Now the background, you can either do this, or you can do okay. You can do the background. Okay. Then if you want to put some trees there in the background, you can put them whichever way you want. Shade them. See how lines come in handy. Put another tree there. Shade it. You can do some random stuff with art. It will still make sense. So here, as long as I know how to differentiate them with my shade, they eventually make sense. Okay. I can put this there, differentiate it with my shade here. Okay. Now I've got the background to work with. Make this a little bit darker. Start a little bit darker. Okay. Okay. Now you can also do your soul searching there. Make this a bit darker. Do your cross hatching again. You see, it cannot be straight. You have to make sure these are circular. Okay. I think I need to practice more with these technology tools. There's no excuse. Okay. Just spend time, find the right tool that does what you're looking for. So here already I can see that I'm not doing very well with vertical lines. So I need to find either a different device or just how to do it. Maybe I just don't know how to do it. So you learn. Excuses are not a good thing. Okay. So there are always solutions. So this is how you do it. So you can see that once you have um, shapes, okay, once you have an idea of shapes, an idea of perspective, an idea of how to do the background, an idea of how to play with the shadows, um, or how to play with light, because here we are dealing with light, okay, and here mostly it's shapes. Once you know these two things, you can almost bring out any drawing you want, okay?